right, we're back. Word on the Street, episode 4. NEPA Street Scene here. I'm Jeff. This is Jim. I just got to start off by saying that this episode is sponsored by the good people at Matt Burney Honda. If you're thinking about a new Honda or need service on your current Honda that you can count on, they're the folks to talk to. While you're there, check out a wide selection of new and used vehicles they have. Then keep your current Honda running good with their best service. Easy buying experience, dependable service people and salespeople. They put you first. So stop in today. At Matt Burney Honda, a great part of their commitment to great service is their complimentary multi-part inspection performed by certified Honda technicians. It gives drivers accurate and a clear picture of the health of their vehicle, so there's no surprises. Routine maintenance, genuine Honda parts, and accessories, Matt Burney Honda delivers. So make sure you guys check them out. So
definitely.
On that note, let's start. We got Dave and Chelsea from the Pharaohs Car Club of Scranton. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Don't be nervous.
Thank you for having us.
Well, you all right?
So you guys want to introduce yourself? I'll let you start, Chelsea.
Oh, boy. My name's Chelsea, and I am with the Pharaohs Car Club. We do a lot of different events and try to help out the community.
All right. Awesome stuff, Dave.
My name is Dave, and I am also with the Pharaohs Car Club, and same as what Chelsea said.
It's funny how you guys, I know that you guys are friends with Jim and Sam, but you two are the kind of people that I would see as suggested friends on Facebook for a long time, right? And then as we get closer and closer to Driven to Duty, that happens more and more. And then I hear Sam talking about Chelsea, and then I meet you, and it's like, oh. And then I meet you, and it's like, oh, okay. Those are the people that I've been getting suggested to for the past, 10 years, right? So it's just kind of crazy how all that kind of lines up at the end of the day. So, again, thank you for being on the show with us.
Greatly appreciate it.
You guys just want to talk about how you got involved with the Pharaohs, like a little bit of the lore of that, where it started, maybe where it's at now?
Believe it or not, I've always been in the car community, so just meeting new people and I don't know,
Yeah, your dad's got like a wicked ride. I'll just put it to you that way. That thing is insane, Jeff. If you ever saw that thing,
what is
holy
it?
Crap.
It's a 79 Trans Am Pro Street tubbed out.
Oof.
It's nasty. It's really nasty.
It's quite amazing. It's got a big block in it. He has it tubbed. It has slicks on it. It's fully caged, and it's a T-top car. And when he built the cage, he built it around the T-top so you could take the top off.
And see the cage. That's badass.
No, the cage is
hidden. Part of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically it has been in your blood.
Yes.
Got it.
I grew up on the racetrack.
There you go. All right. What about you, Dave?
Well, I've been into cars basically my entire life. My uncle owned a junkyard in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and I used to go as a little kid and just pick and play with the cars in the yard with my cousins, and we had a Volkswagen Bug we just used to thrash around. I was like 7 years old, sitting on a milk crate, and he had a 71 Chrysler Imperial in there, and I said, that's my car. And he said, okay. So I used to take all of my great aunts, like cleaning supplies, go down in the junkyard, wipe it down, the whole 9 yards.
That's wild.
And then later, I got into dirt racing with other family members. Spent about 11 years in the dirt and ROC circuit. And then when I got into my own cars, I just bought whatever I could and self-taught on just keeping junk on the road.
So I know, I'll be honest, I feel like the insider in the room here because I'm also a part of the Pharaohs. So it's a full disclaimer here. Pharaohs member. I've been for a while, so I kind of feel like this is cheating at this point. So I'm going to try and feed you guys a little bit as we go. So, I know specifically for myself, I remember watching American Graffiti, and that's where it started for me. And it was like, oh man, I really love this movie. I love this movie. I love everything about this. And then the Pharaohs are mentioned in there, and who are these Pharaohs guys? These are pretty awesome guys, right? And then find out hey, there's a local chapter around here. And okay, let's do a little research and find out what we can find out about it. And, go down some Cars and Coffee, hang out, meet some people. I'm this is a whole new world to me at that point because I came from the import group. My name's Evo Jim for a reason. I built Hondas and Mitsubishis, anything you can really think of at that point. So like I had this transition point of maybe I should retire and get into older cars, classic cars, and see what that community is all about. And although there was some drama involved in it too, it's honestly a really, really awesome part of hot rod culture and car culture that a lot of younger people don't really see maybe as much, I think. So, I mean, you growing up with it, that's awesome. And then you being, introduced to it, 'cause like most people kind of, I think they do what I do and they gradually graduate over to that, or, do like I did and go, I'm going to put myself off the pasture early, but
Well, the funny part is I'm the exact opposite of you.
Yeah.
I started with the small block and big block Chevys and Fords and Chryslers, and then I transitioned into imports.
yeah, that's true. That is usually backwards for what it's considered. But I mean, hey, everybody's a late bloomer. Not everybody's there.
I think it's interesting how, when we had TJ on a couple of weeks ago, how he knows of a chapter in Atlanta, where he's from, of the Pharaohs, how there's different chapters across the country.
Yeah,
of car clubs
they're all over.
And it's not just the Pharaohs. Like, I'll give another example, Envious. So there's Envious up here in Pennsylvania, and I'm pretty sure there's Envious like out in New York, New Jersey, maybe.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to misspeak, like I did about the Lamborghinis on the episode with TJ, which was kind of funny, but whatever. I know for a fact there's a Envious chapter in Dallas. There's a lot of people down there in that. So I just think it's awesome how there's like different chapters.
Like Pennsylvania actually had a few chapters of the Pharaohs, and I think over time they've kind of faded away. Some popped up, they're trying to make big names for themselves, and then eventually, I don't know if they just lost interest or what was going on, but there was I think there was some political infighting for a little while, and some of the local groups too, and a lot of stuff went away. And the Pharaohs Scranton chapter, for some reason, has been able to just hold on and build better. I'll be honest, like when I first started, there was three of us. I mean, Pete obviously is still a big part of it, even as he was back then. But just looking at the evolution of the Pharaohs and Scranton from what it was back then to what it is now, you guys have done a lot for it. I give you credit, since I kind of like stepped back, I, some life things going on. I needed a little break. I was getting burnt out, I'll be honest, and where the direction that you guys have taken it, you guys have been blowing my mind, like how well things have been doing. I mean, the club has grown substantially, from, 3 or 4 members that we had, and we kind of got stagnant at the 3 or 4 members for a while, and you guys have just taken it in a whole new direction. So, I mean, definitely kudos on that.
Yeah, I think we're up to 45 or so members now.
Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah. That is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you guys won the biggest car club for Driven to Duty, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys, from what I gather, you guys cleaned house at that one. So, I mean, did really, really well, we were kind of like going over some things here, and like, what do you guys have planned for the Pharaohs for 2026? Everybody's got like big plans, big shows, big events or whatever. So fill us in a little bit about that too.
Well, with 2025, it was basically a building year, making it more diverse, bringing in new members, getting comfortable with each other. Now, 2026, we're ready to hit it hard, but we're not going to go to every single car show and stuff like that. We're going to support NEPA Street Scene.
Appreciate that.
We're going to do Driven again and Meet on the Mountain and all that. We do have, what is it? Paws and Propellers is coming up. That's going to be a car show that's going to benefit the Destin Animal Shelter in Homestead.
Yeah, that's
And when's that?
Cherry Ridge Airport, I believe.
Cherry Ridge Airport.
At Cherry Ridge Airport, September 19th.
Oh, okay.
So a little ways away yet, but we're also starting in April, Cars and Coffee at Nowitzki's Automotive.
Yeah, that's an awesome location too.
And where's that at?
That's Scott Township.
1797 Layton Road, Scott Township.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the second Saturday of the month every month.
What makes that venue so cool is
It's it's kind of in the middle of everything up that way, at least.
Yeah,
and it's not far from Scranton, Dunmore, the Valley, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the cool part about it, Jeff, is it's an old car dealership. It was a car dealership back in the 30s and 40s.
Oh, I see.
So it's one of those Art Deco style buildings.
Yep.
It's such a beautiful location.
Yeah, it really ties in. I'm actually really excited for that one this year. So, tell me a little bit more about like membership. Like, what do you guys do for memberships? What are any requirements on that? Or, if you're trying to grow out or anything like that, like somebody's interested in joining the Pharaohs, what's that typically look like? I know it's changed. So,
Well, we bent the rules a little.
yeah.
When the Pharaohs originally came to us, you had to have a pre-1972 car, which we do. And it was basically, it had to be American muscle, American hot rod, all that.
Yeah.
But then we took a step back because I'm the same generation as you. You and
Absolutely,
I are a couple
yeah.
months apart. We didn't have access to muscle cars because they were priced way out of our whatever we could afford at the time. And then the younger group, like Jeff and Chelsea, they had the imports, stuff like that, Catfish Camaros, Fox bodies, So we were like, let's start bringing them in.
Yeah,
We'll do
might
it
as
quietly.
well, yeah.
Let's do it quietly at first. It's like, oh, you have a Subaru? That's cool. You like cars, right? You're in the community. Come with us. We became very welcoming and very inclusive. And that was the secret to our success. Because we had a big meeting with the Villa Capri Cruisers, who we do stuff with. But they were, we don't want imports there. We don't want, new cars there.
Yeah, a lot of them kind of, they look at it as like, we're old cars.
Do you remember
cars,
back in the
hot
day?
rods.
I'm going back to 2011 or 2011, 2012.
That pains me to say back in the day.
Right? Seriously. Do you remember back in the day when 2016, there was I think it was Victory Pig where a bunch of us wanted to go.
Yeah.
I
And
got kicked out of there with the ladybug.
there you go.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm
Case in
talking
point,
about,
yeah.
where
Yeah.
we wanted to go down, and I had my Pontiac G8, and you probably had at the time your Mini,
When was it? 2011?
2012 or so.
Oh yeah.
Because I found a picture of my G8 actually, and your Mini's in the background. But I had the G8, and I think Cromco would have had the Cobalt, Joe would have had the Catfish, Doc would have had something on Jack Sands in his garage, and we would want to go to that meet on Wednesday nights, and we'd park our stuff there. And I have a picture of it on my phone somewhere. They would literally leave signs on our dash that said, "This is for car show parking only. Cars will be ticketed $20 or something like that." And it's like,
it was ridiculous.
like.
Yeah, they only wanted a certain type and
Yeah.
certain make, certain model, and if you didn't fit what they wanted, they would
And like,
push you out,
not to
so.
toot our own horn, but like our stuff was like legit
it
stuff.
wasn't,
I mean,
it wasn't just
Well, a couple of years prior, I had the same experience with an event down in Scranton when they had the car show on Lackawanna Avenue in front of the mall at Steamtown or Marketplace,
remember that,
whatever
yeah.
you call it. And I had a 1978 Dodge Magnum, which, grand was nothing special, but it was my first classic car. And I had it parked, and a guy comes over, he goes, "Why don't you park that over there where nobody could see it?" And I'm like, "What?"
yeah.
And so I moved the car, and I was a little butthurt, and I stayed out of the car show scene for, till about 2017.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I had the same thing happen to me with the Buick, of all things. That was a 1954, so it met the criteria. And I just happened to have an instance at a car show once where I was really excited. I was like, man, this is the first year having a hot rod. I was so excited. I was like, I've got a hot rod now. I can be part of this. I can experience what it's like to have a hot rod and go cruise and do all these cool things. And I showed up for this car show, and there's this huge line of traffic. It's the middle of June because, it's around a certain time of the month that most of the time you get dads together or whatever else. And I get into this, I pay my money to get into the entrance, and they go, "Yeah, we don't want that up in the front. That's not what we really like. So you can park down there by the swamp." And
I think that's one of our strengths that we had always going along, is that we didn't care. We don't care what you had. Even if you brought in your, like I could show up with my sister's Tucson and, roll in. It's as long as you're, it's more about the people, I think. And we
absolutely.
And the other night when Joe and I were on Freedom of Speed with Eric and Brandon, we talked about something similar to this. It's more about the people than the car, and that's what makes the community. It makes the whole car scene. So
It absolutely
that
does.
should be out soon. That was we had a good time on there. Shouts to them. So I think it's more about it's about this. It's not about
What you drive.
It is about the car.
Honestly,
somewhat,
I
but-
think like the whole part of what you drive ties into the community itself, because it's a way to bond with people. I mean, even back to the wash days when, I would meet up with everybody down at the wash. We'd all talk, we're all sitting together. Like, for the most part, we'd show up, we'd park the cars. We didn't really care too much about it. It was more of getting to hang out with people that had like-minded interests.
And we wouldn't a lot of times we wouldn't even talk about cars. We would just
no.
talk about random nonsense like we do now. Like,
work stuff.
Yeah.
The Best Buy days.
If you ever saw, like, I'll give you an
Yes.
example. Like, you're not anymore, but like Sam is, like, there's like 5 or 6 group messages that all have the same exact people, all have the same exact conversations, but they just have different titles and different background images, right? Maybe a couple people will be different here and there, but like, it's all car people. And every once in a while, someone will send a car link for sale. Someone will make a jack stand joke. Someone will share something that, the NSA that's watching the group message is going to kick over.
And that's why I'm not in it.
So, I mean, it's just about the people. So it's like, we have our get-togethers, we hang out and stuff like that. We're not always talking about cars the whole time. We're talking about life. We're talking about family.
Yeah.
We're talking about,
Oh, that's the way the meetings are when we have our club meetings. I mean, it's chaos. We very seldom get to the point of the meeting. And
it's fun though. It really is.
hour and a half, 2 hours in.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. I mean, sometimes you're right. Yeah, you're like shouting over each other, trying to talk to like, hey, I gotta talk to like, hey, what's going on? I haven't seen you in like a month or so. It's everything's spaced out. Cause you guys are still doing like a monthly schedule for meetings, or
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
Well, we decided to keep it going throughout the winter just to keep the interest up because,
people lose interest over the,
Yeah.
we're car people and,
Winter
the
sucks.
winter time sucks. Nice Jeff being in Texas. He probably gets to.
Summertime sucks.
Well, yeah, but I mean, in the winter, you get to drive your car around, I bet.
I was stuck in my house for almost a week and a half last week.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. That weather
you guys
was
got
nationwide.
There was an inch of ice on my driveway, and there was like 2 inches of snow on top of it for like 3 or 4 days, right? And then that was when it was coming down, and then it was cold for like 3 or 4 days, and then it had to melt. And even if there was just snow in my driveway, I couldn't get out because like the road would be dry, but my driveway was still
Solid sheet of ice.
because like the road got a little dry because cars were going up, but like if I backed out of my driveway, first of all, the car would probably just slide out sideways and I wouldn't stop, but like I wouldn't be able to get back in. But then like one day it just got like I think it was like the day before I came back, like I went to the post office in an NEPA street scene tank top. And there was somebody, and this just shows you how weird people, in my opinion, how weird some people are in that state when it comes to the weather and the climate. There was somebody in front of me that was wearing a jacket like this one, right? Meanwhile, I'm standing there in a tank top like, it's beautiful outside. It was like 70 degrees out, or 65, 70 degrees out. And it's just like, 65 down there feels different than 65 up here.
Yeah, it
65
definitely
down
does.
there feels like probably, I don't know, maybe
30, 35, 40.
in the high 50s up
Yeah.
here. But either way, it was really nice out and it was nice and sunny. So, but yeah, down there, summertime is really hit or miss. You have a lot of car shows that just get canceled in like
Because of the heat. Yeah.
because of the heat. And then at nighttime, you'll see meets down there are better, actually, I think, especially like the invite only ones because they're at night. And even still at night, you're sometimes in the 90s at night, 90 degrees at, 9 o'clock at night. But
I could take that.
it sure,
Oh, me too.
it beats, it beats sitting in an asphalt parking lot when the sun is out and there's no clouds in 110 degree heat.
That's
for,
true. Yeah.
for 9 hours,
It's funny that you mentioned the night meets too, because I honestly miss them.
Yeah.
You know, the July, August nights where you didn't have to put the air conditioning on. You could just drop the windows, crank the stereo,
Just cruise.
and then just meet up with everybody in a parking lot. I miss those days.
That's why I sent you all those videos of the Model A's rolling around in Arizona. I'm telling you, man, It's
I think
bucket
that
list.
can
It's
come
gonna
back.
happen.
I feel as though that can make a comeback. I mean, I think that like, you know, more and more people and more individuals doing like, you know, legit things like, you know, we're doing, like Freedom of Speed's doing, like, you know, other groups are doing. I think that as groups get exposure and, you know, places start to see, hey, these people are not complete morons. These people are adults. They have a passion, you know, that could possibly happen.
That's the hardest part right
Yeah,
there. It's, you know, there has to be a responsibility to it.
Look,
you know,
you were mentioning the wash days.
Yeah.
I used to go to those.
Yeah.
The Wizard in Peckville, and then Dunkin' Donuts in Dixon City was our hangout spot. And it was the same thing. We park the cars and we go sit somewhere. I mean, I remember sitting on the curb and reading the paper shop.
It used to be so
Yeah.
funny, like at the wash off of Kaiser, right? We would go there, we'd get kicked out. We would go back the next night.
Yeah.
We'd get kicked out. It was like a constant
was
chain.
endless loop,
And then,
yeah.
what was it? Oak Street Express, the bar opened up,
Yeah.
right? And then we made friends with them, or a couple people that used to associate with us made friends with them. And then we'd get kicked out, and that bar owner was like, no, you guys are allowed there. Because sometimes we'd go in, you know, grab a, you know, drink or two or something like that. She was really cool, you know,
Yeah,
let us
she
in,
was.
and she basically allowed us to do that. So,
the best part was watching the patrons coming out.
oh yeah. Oh, do you remember Rufus?
I knew it was coming sometime.
Oh,
Somebody was going to mention it.
well, somebody mentioned it on a
Yeah.
Facebook post. One of the one of the shorts I shared. I messaged one of the commenters, an old friend from back in the day, and this is legit back in the day, not like
Like way back.
not
in the
like
day.
5
Yeah.
years ago. This is like 20 years ago,
Yeah.
plus years ago. An interesting character that used to talk more about this off camera, but you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
he just there used to be a lot of random people that would just show up, like people that weren't associated with us that just knew we were there, and they'd come by and it was just
Sometimes it was just the comedy was worth it in itself. Sometimes it was chaos. I mean, yeah, I remember a few things.
that's a good story.
that happened, but
I have two distinctly we talk about. So.
we'll keep those off the table discussion later.
I don't even know if that was his name. That's what we called him, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that was wild. Absolutely wild. So
Up in the valley, I'd have to mention Hot Wheels. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know Hot Wheels.
So we talked about Cars and Coffee, the Destin Animal Shelter, Roadsters and Runways.
We're still waiting for a date on that.
Okay, so we'll keep that one hush hush.
And then also movie nights at the drive-in. We're waiting on
Yeah.
dates
Oh,
to
yeah,
confirm
yeah.
those. So
Yeah, I saw that over the summer. I was not here for that, but I remember seeing lots of collaboration between y'all and NEPA Street Scene for that one. I know
Yeah,
Sam
there was a really good turnout.
Sam was
on
huge
that
on
too.
that.
I believe we're going to do Fast 1 again for the reason that, okay, you ready for this? This is the 25th anniversary of Fast 1.
Wow, I'm ready to just leave the hobby completely.
25 years. Can you believe that?
No,
Yeah,
I can't.
I'm
I'm ready to just leave. I'm ready to just.
I'm gray. All right.
I found
was
some-
not
I found
gray.
some
20
shaving.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah. It this part sucks about this. It's like the fact of you look at it like that was 25 years ago. We are literally at the same age when people that started up a lot of these older clubs that are doing the hot rod stuff. We're at the age that they were when they're like, "Hey, you want to get together and start a car club?" That's literally where we're at.
Yep.
Yeah, but think about it, guys. Back in the day, would we ever have lawn chairs in our trunks and hatches? No.
I mean, I was guilty of that. I did a lot of car shows.
I'd say
back then, so-
probably, you know, honestly, I probably started it when, in like probably 05, 06, when we started hanging out at the Robo Car Wash in West Side.
Yeah.
That was the original spot that I met. Like that was for me at least because I live in that area. So like that was the first spot that I met everybody. And then we got kicked out of there a lot, and the owner was just not happy that we were there. And then that was when we eventually migrated to Garrity's, and then we were go back and forth between Garrity's and the Wash, and then everything just kind of started with Street Scene and stuff like that.
No, I go even further back than that.
Yeah.
We're talking 98 through 2001 going down the Ave in Kingston.
No, I was in high school.
Yeah.
Meeting up at the Gallery of Sound. Remember that big Gallery of
Oh,
Sound
yeah.
by the Grotto Pizza?
Yeah, I
And
remember
that's where
that.
everybody went.
Joe was all about that.
Yeah, he was. That was his kind of like his home territory down there, I guess. So.
I remember going down there and I want to say probably 2002 2003, like right when I was in high school. I had a 91 Pontiac Grand Prix. And I mentioned it in the first episode about like how I just had an audio system and how that got me started. But like, I remember going down there with my friends and we would just drive through. My buddy had we had two cars. My buddy had a 98 Dodge Neon. Let me tell you right now, that car, right now, I would rock that car. It was a red 98 Neon Coupe. I'd rock that thing.
We were talking about that not too long ago. With
my best friend had the Plymouth Neon. It was the hunter green color, and it had these pink and purple stripes that came on it from the factory.
I had a friend that had one of them too.
Yep.
a sedan.
And it had the dual overhead cam 2.0. It was a 5-speed. And that little thing moved.
I wonder if it's the same person.
Jeremy.
No.
No, yeah, probably not.
No. And then another guy had a 93, 94 maybe Ford Taurus. And that car was a tank because I remember we took it over a jump one night. I'm not exaggerating. This story is hilarious, right? There's a road, and it's not even a jump, it's a road. It's a set of railroad tracks in Duryea. When you go down Duryea or down into Duryea, if you go down like into Duryea past like like where the gas stations are, like, and you get down by like the borough building and stuff, you make a left on that road, you go like to get up to Foot Avenue. There's a series of train tracks as you go down to like by where Xfinity is, right? There's a church. If you make the one right-hand turn to go up the one side street, there's a set of train tracks that go like this.
I grew up right there.
Okay.
New Street.
Yes. So the one night we're out driving around, right? And I'm not kidding. I was in high school. There was 4 of us in the car. There were 3 friends in the back seat, right? And we're driving around, and I'm not even kidding. We were just driving around NEPA looking for jumps, right? We're going up and down the hill section in this car. Remember that video of the Tesla that did the jump?
Yeah.
We're trying to do something like that, right? We're in this Ford Taurus, just like being complete idiots, right? And we found these tracks, right? And we're like, yo, right? So
do it.
So we get up there, we go up to Foot Avenue, we go back down around, right? And we were going to go like 40, right? But we went like 20, right? The car took off, right? It jumped and it slammed on the ground, right? And the airbags went off, right? Not even, and this was like 9 o'clock at night, right? Like 9 o'clock or like, I want to say 90 seconds later, all we hear is the volunteer sirens go off, right? And then you would swear that every single volunteer firefighter, every single borough sent the police, I'm surprised the helicopters and the army didn't come, right? And I had to call my dad, and my dad was a retired Scranton cop, so he wasn't happy. Right? Oh. But the interesting thing about that car, the only damage on that car was that my friend's Penn State license plate was bent back in, right? He ended up just pulling out the airbags and gluing the steering wheel shut, and the car still ran. So there's your lesson to not drive your car over jumps unless it's like as I refer to them as a domestic shit
Dukes
box.
of Hazzard.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a little bit of the lore about some of the shenanigans I used to get into.
It's hilarious how parallel our lives run. Now, back in the day, the Beastie Boys had that video called Sabotage where they all dressed up as 70s cops and they had a Crown Victoria and they jump it. We tried doing the same thing with my best friend's grandmother's 1983 Chevy Caprice Classic.
Oof. And you put a crater in the ground.
This was the underpowered one because she bought the absolute base model. It was a 3.8 V6. So the car was 110 horsepower and 4,500 pounds.
Oof, yeah.
So over in Hobby, PA, over by Moyers Grove Campground, we found a road that we could launch cars off of.
Oh my, we found a road that we could launch cars off of. There we go. Quote of the night.
So we take this maroon on maroon with the spoke hubcap with Garfield stuck with the suction cups to the back window.
I think my grandmother had one of those, yeah.
We get going as fast as we can. The car launches. We land so hard. The 2 front wheel covers, the spoke hubcaps go popping off and flying into the woods. Sparks are flying. There were grooves in the road for years for when that subframe hit the road. So we stop, and Jeremy's like, "Oh man, we launched." I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "But we lost the hubcaps." And I'm like, yeah. He goes, my grandmother's going to kill me. We got to find them. And I'm like, dude, like the woods, the thorns, the thicket. That was the first time in my life I got poison ivy, looking for a hubcap so he didn't get in trouble with his grandmother. That thing had a little clunk in the front end from then on.
I would have let him get in trouble. I know him.
Yeah, I had wicked poison ivy.
Oh,
So
man.
on top of all your meets and everything else you guys have planned for the year, I mentioned that you help out quite a bit with NEPA Street Scene.
Yes, we love collaborating with you guys.
I know that you've helped Sam quite a bit with a lot of the merch and stuff like that as well. So that's quite awesome. It's nice
Like
seeing the
a wizard.
collaboration from far away.
We see that's one of the new missions that we have with the Pharaohs. Instead of it being, oh well, it's their car show, like let's just come together and all do it as a community.
That's what's happening. That's something I'm seeing happening.
And that's one of the missions I love about the street scene.
That's like starting to bleed over into other groups as well. Like, Joe and I were on Freedom of Speed the other night. We had a fantastic time. We talked for like almost 2 hours with those guys, and it was great. It was I was in it was when I was still in Texas. He's like, keep your Thursday night free. We're doing something car related at 6:30. And I'm thinking to myself, what are you talking about, right?
Yeah, it's a little cold down there still to go cruising.
Right. And then he's like, make sure you bring a street scene shirt. And I'm like, yeah, I usually always have one or two with me, so no problem. And then he tells me early in the day, he's like, we're doing a podcast. And I'm like, okay. And then at the same time, I'm like looking on Eric Rivera's Instagram, and I see, oh, tune in tonight. We're collabing with NEPA Street Scene. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, looks like we're doing that tonight. So good time with those guys. So hopefully that'll be out soon. We had
look forward to that one.
That was a good time.
Awesome. So what are you guys looking for then? In like, I'm going to throw this one out broad term because I've seen the progress that the Pharaohs has made over the last couple of years, which is phenomenal. Where do you see your guys as a club? Like, where do you see the club going in, say, like 5 years time, say longer term? Like, where would you like to see it go?
I would just like to see us just keep improving on what we're doing. Just everybody getting together and having fun, like you said. Park the cars, go out, hang out with your friends. I mean, mostly everybody in that club has become family to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially you and Sam.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be in the Pharaohs if it wasn't for you guys.
You're welcome.
The Buick.
There's backstory to this.
Yeah,
he used to own the Buick that I bought.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I bought the Buick off of this guy named Rick in Hamburg who pulled the car out of a shed after it was sitting since 1982. He sprayed it with like the cheapest Rust-Oleum flat black paint and rattle canned the roof copper. And it had the most hack job wiring I ever saw in my life.
Yeah, it did.
But for some reason, when I first saw the car I fell absolutely in love with it. I had to have it. I overpaid for it. Drove it the day we brought it home. We took it to a car show up on Montage Mountain. Yeah. It was still dirty. And it still smelled like cat pee. Ew. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was infested with mice. It was unbelievably. It's so bad.
I remember I was trying all the accessories and turning the heat on. It blew a mouse nest out of the blower motor. Yeah. And then it had that weird heated seat where it had a heater core under the seat.
Oh, my. I didn't even know they made those.
Yeah.
So
wild.
I didn't even know cars that old had heated seats.
It was literally like a second heater core that would sit underneath the seat and had a blower
straight up into the cushion.
Yeah. It was like the original OG heated seats.
Why do I feel like that going defective would be quite the pain in the ass?
It definitely could be, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I turned it on and it blew mouse nest all over Chelsea's ankles, and it did not catch on fire. But there was no carpet also.
True, yeah. Yeah, I did put carpet in it later on.
Chelsea recovered the seats. They were no longer the ripped up Lido gray, cat stained.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, though.
But the whole reason Jim ended up with that car, I made the mistake. I said, I'm not a trailer queen kind of person. I'm going to drive the car. Cars are made to be driven. I took that car with its single speed Dynaflow transmission all the way to Ocean City, Maryland for Cruise Week and back. And then I decided that there's a reason why cars have multiple gears and overdrive now.
Yeah. That thing literally had 2 speeds, low and drive, right? And you would go, hey, I'm going to put this thing in the drive and cruise down the highway. Yeah, no. There was a reason 55 was the speed limit back then. We'll just put it to you that way.
Trying to keep up with Chelsea's father, I had that car going 80 on the turnpike.
Yeah, that's scary.
It felt like that motor was going to come through the firewall.
Yeah. I put a tachometer later on the car just to see what the RPM range was when you're like, I remember, I want to say I was going to a Cars and Coffee down in Luzerne County, and I'm on 81. I'm pushing a little bit, and I had it up around 75 or 80. I looked down, and I'm like, oh, wow, like 4,500 RPM on a V8. Like, this thing isn't supposed to go past 5,000, maybe if I'm lucky. On a good day, I was pushing it on that.
Actually,
for sure.
When I first got that car, I was like, everybody talks about the nailheads and how they were amazing hot rod engines. I'm like, this thing drives like a 1.6 NA diesel in an old Jetta. And an old timer up at the Waymart Hotel goes to me and goes, he had a 53 Buick. He's like, oh, that's a 54. I'm like, yeah. He goes, do you have that missing trim? That's before I put the side spear back on it. I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'll buy that off you. I guarantee it's worth more than the car. I'm like, oh, thank you. I said, yeah. I said, I don't understand. I said, I think there's something wrong with it. The car's a dog. He goes, how are you driving it? I said, I put it in D and go. He goes, no, you're driving it wrong. And I'm like, what? He goes, you have to start off in L and then upshift to D. And then the next thing you knew, the car was a little faster.
That thing was a torque monster off the line.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you told me that, I was like, oh, I got to try that out. And I literally was sitting at a stoplight, dropped it down into L, and as soon as the light turned green, I whacked the throttle to the floor, and the car just kind of like tweaked and pulled up into the air, and I went, oh! Then Austin's in the back sitting there like, ah! And Sam's like, what are you doing? Knock it off.
And then don't forget the master cylinder was under the floor.
Yeah.
And the brake pedal came up like an old Volkswagen. And you had to stand on it to get it to stop.
That was an understatement. I remember coming down a couple of hills and I'm like, oh crap, I can't stop. And I'm like slamming the brakes really hard because it's 4-wheel drum, and they were one single piston on the master cylinder. And it's like, I'm grabbing the wheel going, I was struggling to try and get that thing to slow down. And I for whatever reason, the way those drums were, the whole car shook. And like, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to die today. Don't let me die today. I don't want to die today. I want to enjoy this car. But
single circuit master cylinder, no power steering with the steering wheel the size of a manhole cover.
Yeah, it was humongous. Like if you tried to jump into the car and you caught it wrong, you would literally catch your rib cage and knock the wind out of yourself on it. You're like,
well, the one time we were leaving a car show and a car pulled out in front of me and I got it to stop, like all 4 locked. Ooh. And the same thing happened. It was like out of Christine with Darnell. Like I just went right over the whole steering wheel. Yeah. I'm like, that. I even honked the horn. That's how hard. Remember that?
I do.
I had an issue with the horn on there. The one day I was so embarrassed. I was going through Carbondale. Did it right down Main Street in Carbondale. And I came around a corner and I straightened the wheel out. And all of a sudden, the horn started blowing. Now, I left those truck horns on there that were there from when I got it. I think I got it from, was it Kurt?
Yeah.
I think I got it off of. And I actually like mounted them and everything, and they worked really, really well. They're really loud. And here I am going straight down the middle of Carbondale, and the horn is just blaring the whole way through. I'm like, I can't get it to stop. It won't stop. I literally had to pull over and like disconnect the battery just to get the horns to stop so I could figure out what was going on with it. And ended up like a wire was cracked and short into a ground on the bottom. Like, you're kidding me, really?
I almost
problems.
I almost killed Joanne from the Coal Crackers with her father's other Trans Am, the 79. The gray one, the primer one. So I decided to take it for some reason up to Advance to grab parts for the Cadillac. And I saw they were having their little Coal Crackers car show.
Oh, yeah.
Joe was up there and he's always looking for the Pontiac deals.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Her old man picked up a 35,000 original mile 79 Trans Am. I mean, unmolested, factory exhaust system. You name it, it's still there. And I pulled in and I drove slow past GTO Joe and I went to pull in And Joanne's sitting there in her chair by the desk all nice. And I just pulled up next to her to say hi, throw the car in park, and the horn went off. And it stopped. And I mean, she jumped out of her Jazzy about 7 inches.
Aww.
And I'm like, oh no. And I'm like banging on the steering wheel in the column. I couldn't get it to shut off. I had to pop the hood, crawl in there, and pull the plug on. It's still
And those hoods aren't easy to open.
No, because you have to
they're
reach
not.
under the front bumper, and there's like a little T handle, and you have to pull it, push down on the hood, pull it again, and then lift the hood.
That poor lady.
I know.
We keep talking about lots of cars. So tell us about what's in the garage right now for
Oh,
y'all.
boy.
Yeah.
The stable.
Well, Chelsea, you have the longest list, so you might as well go first.
Well, I have 6 Beetles, a 62 Cadillac hearse.
6 Beetles. Oh, I want to talk about that. That sounds like therapy right there.
Oh, you have no idea.
I own Volkswagens and Audis. I do.
I warned you. Fair and square, as a friend, I warned you. You're like, I'm going to get into Audis and Volkswagens. I'm like, please
you did,
don't.
Yeah, you did warn me. Yeah. I'm sorry. I cut you off. Go on, continue.
No,
go
you're
ahead.
fine.
Go ahead.
No, 6 Beetles, probably a 7th one up in the attic in parts. The hearse.
Next to the Halloween decorations, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And the Christmas decorations.
Yes.
Jack Skellington. She's a huge Halloween nut, by the way.
Really?
So that's ties in with the hearse as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I own 2 caskets. I'm supposed to be picking up a 3rd one.
Like real ones?
Yes.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
The 3rd one is actually in a scrapyard right now.
so
I don't know why somebody
okay.
scrapped it, but they
So
did.
here's a question. How does one get a real casket?
Well,
Like seriously, because think about what they're used for. I mean, like, what
Are they used?
like? Is it used? Like, did someone just decide? Well, you know what? I'm gonna go dig up grandma and make some extra money. You know what I mean? Like,
well, funny story. First one I got, I saw on Marketplace.
that. Okay, well, that's
It was in a shed
Could be
that was
questionable.
collapsing in on itself that looked like it was an old crypt.
maybe someone just bought it and said to themselves, "Well, we'll just keep this for a rainy day."
Well, it wasn't a finished casket. It was just a shell.
Oh, okay.
And back in the day, there were 2 casket manufacturers, one in German behind Avery's floral shop called I think it was called Miller Casket.
Okay.
And then in Einen, up across from Lockheed, there was one called Casket Shells.
All right. That makes more sense then. Okay. Because I was wondering, like, I always see caskets, and I grew up in Pike County. We never saw any of that stuff down there. Even when I spent time over in New Jersey, you know, like Sussex County and everything, like, we never saw caskets outside of like a funeral home or, you know, anything like that. So it was like, I came up here and like, why are there caskets everywhere? Why are they on Facebook? Why are they on Marketplace? Like, how does Chelsea getting caskets?
Why is there a car made out of a casket? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So the hearse itself is a hilarious story. Ever since I met Chelsea, she wanted a hearse. And I'm like, okay. So I just
like
sarcastically, and this is where it bit me in the ass, I'm like, if you could find, she's like, I want a hearse. I said, okay. And then she goes, I want one to match our Cadillac. I said, okay. I'm thinking to myself, it's like, okay, so the Ecto 1 was a 59. How many 62 Cadillacs could there be? So I said, all right, you find one, we'll buy it.
Oh, famous last words.
2 months later, she shows me an ad for 1962 Miller Meteor in Ohio,
The plot thickens. Okay.
Bryan, Ohio, and which is on the Indiana border.
Yeah.
And
That's a long drive.
it was a reasonable price. And I was like, okay. So we rent a trailer. I had the Silverado at the time. We go all the way across the state, all the way into Ohio. Now this car lot, you probably would think that like, you were like, okay, only weird people are here, because all he sold were professional cars.
TheHearseKing.com.
The Hearse King. He had a Toyota Century from the 90s that was a funeral coach from Japan. It had that's big, elaborate pagoda on the back of it, and it had the V12 engine.
That's probably worth a lot of money right now.
Yeah, it probably is.
Oh, he was asking $75,000 for it.
It's probably worth more, like, because that I know those big JDM like VIP things are worth a ton of money.
Tons
right
of
now.
money, yeah. They're real popular right now.
Oh, I would love to have a Nissan President, but
Toyota Gloria, or right?
no.
what's the
Century?
No, there's the one that's something in Gloria. I think it's the.
Nissan.
Is it Nissan?
Nissan's Gloria, isn't it?
You got me on that. I've actually been out.
I know there's a few of them down by me.
Oh.
Anyway,
I know of Crowns, but that's about it.
Nissan Gloria. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
it is
Yeah, you're
Nissan,
right.
okay.
Yeah, I know. There's a few of them I've seen at car shows down there. There's actually quite a few of them down there. There's a lot of right-hand drive shit down that way. So down by me.
So we roll into this place, and I'm looking at the car, and I'm like, oh, deal's a deal. Her dad got it a little bit cheaper for her. We go to load it on the trailer. Got the car started, turned around, go to load it on the trailer. The car was so heavy, when I went up on the ramps, it picked up on the hitch.
Yeah.
Picked the rear wheels of my truck off the ground, and the truck started rolling towards another hearse as I'm trying to load it, and her father had to jump in and jump on the brake pedal.
Yeah, that's a big car. I mean, I know what it looks like because I'm over at the house and I saw it at the Driven Duty show.
Yeah.
I mean, I just say, hey, it's a big station wagon. That's all. You can fit a lot of stuff in the back. So any of your car shows, you just load it up and take it.
Well, now that it has the new engine and it's got the new wheels and the new brakes and the new exhaust, we use it as the Pharaohs transport vehicle.
There you go.
Because all the tables, the tents, the DJ equipment, all that stuff fits in the back easy.
Fit the kids back there when they're bad.
I got pulled over.
pulled over for
yeah,
that.
we got pulled over for that.
All right, never mind. Disclaimer: do not
Speaking
throw
of
your
hers,
kids in the
my
back.
sister was telling me she saw, I think, around here somewhere, because she's from Scranton, obviously, but like she saw, I think, a big Chevy Traverse hearse, a new one, like locally. So they're making like
Interesting.
stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So
Talk about the bugs, the beetles a little.
Yeah,
I didn't know you had 6 of them. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, I have 2 ladybugs. The first ladybug is my 2000 Beetle. That was my first car. And just over the years, I've been, upgrading it and stuff. Like, it all started as a joke. Bought the car, didn't run. Somebody blew the oil pan off of it.
I was at
seized
that
the
party.
engine.
I was at that party.
Yeah, years later, after we meet, I find out that he pulled my car off the rock that took out the engine. So...
Fates intervened.
You may want to tell the audience that Volkswagen New Beetles make awful off-road vehicles.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a party in
Volkswagen,
the woods.
Volkswagen, anything from that era made awful anything. So,
True.
as a disclaimer, because I got an 07, that thing's horrible.
I warned you.
Yeah. I know. Should have gone elsewhere. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Where was I at? It started as a joke. My father's like, oh, you're going to be driving a little ladybug as your first car. So as it's up on the jack stands in his garage 20 some years ago, I go down there with vinyl stickers and I put all polka dots on it.
Literally made it a ladybug.
Literally made it a ladybug, and it's stayed like that since. Kids love it when I take it to charity shows, and
You're kind of known for it now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
stuck.
That car's famous.
Yeah, it definitely
Tell them
is.
about the mods it has. It's pretty impressive.
yeah, there's not a bolt on that car that hasn't been touched.
Nice.
I
That's what
mean,
like.
Doubled in radio I put in it because the cup holders were useless. I took a
They are. Yeah.
later model center console, put it in my car, so now the cup holders are on the side of me instead of trying to shove a soda can underneath the radio because that barely even fit.
Sounds like my Mini.
She
Same thing.
handmade a fiber optic starry headliner for it.
Getting one of them put in my Subaru.
Yeah.
Or I had one of them
Those are
put
a
in my
lot of
Subaru.
work.
Oh, that's cool.
Let me tell you, it's not fun poking holes
And so I paid
through
some,
the.
paid
Yeah,
some.
Yeah.
I wish I did, but
The headliner was out to do the dent repair in the roof size, and he's like, "Hey, guess what we do now?" And I'm like, "Oh, nah, I want to save money." And then I'm like,
Might as well.
"It's one of
It's
those
there.
things, like you know how it's like. Well, while you're in there,
Yeah, might as well. Why
you
not?
know,
I'm trying to think. It has a Wings West body kit that's no longer in production. 18 by 8 wheels, drilled and slotted rotors. The The interior's color coordinated as a custom instrument panel that's done up like a ladybug. Her check engine light, which of course, if you know Volkswagen's, is on. So it's a ladybug instead of a check engine light now.
That's awesome.
And then she came to me the one day and she's like, I want my stereo system to be loud. I said, okay, you're talking to the right guy. You know, I was into car audio back in the 90s all the way up to now. So we had a custom fiberglass. It's molded to the hatch. And
it's actually really nice.
I've never seen this before.
Two 12-inch Orion XTR Series 2s. Because
Yep. Now we're talking.
Polk audio components all around. JBL Concert Series sound amp. And then that trash Scar actually is okay.
They're not bad, yeah.
But she really needs an Orion HCCA to push it. But I want to keep the back window in the car.
I had one of those actually.
I bought one of them in 2006. I bought it. So this is a funny story. I tried to do audio competitions like years ago before I understood the concept of like, you know, if you want to push like, and this was back when amps were not efficient, right? If you wanted to run like a 2500 watt amp, you needed like a second battery, a bigger alternator and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, they were called high current.
I tried running an Orion HCCA 5000, which is 2500 watts RMS. I tried running one of them on a stock electrical system in a 2000 2000 Monte Carlo, right?
How fast that killed the alternator.
I wonder if his headlamps dimmed or if the car just stalled when the bass hit.
The headlights dimmed. It was just on, I think I had an Optima red top. The headlights would dim when the bass hit. But what happened was I stopped at Valley Chevrolet one night to look at a red SS Camaro, an F-body. And I left it playing. And I get back in the car, I start driving away, and the amp is literally bolted to the floor in the back of the car, like on fire.
Yeah.
So I bought this thing brand new from caraudio.com from a member, and I call Orion, and I tell them, I'm like, hey, this is still under warranty, whatever. And they're like, oh, we don't, you bought it from someone, the warranty's void. And I'm like, okay. So I call them back like 20 minutes later. I'm like, oh yeah, my name is Zach Wagner. I bought this new from you guys. Here's the receipt. I moved to Scranton, Pennsylvania, and they're like, oh, no problem, Mr. Wagner. We'll get it taken care of for you. So they sent me a new one, and I sold it, got my money back. But yeah, it's crazy how amplifier, like that technology has just changed so much. And, in a couple weeks or so, we're gonna hopefully have, enhanced installations on here talking about that stuff, or I think that's something part of the plan or something like that.
I'd like to see that added into some of the driven to duty stuff. I'd like to see more audio stuff.
I wanted to, but the problem is like with audio competitions is that and I see this down there.
It's subjective.
Not even that. Like you can get a meter, and I think that for stuff like that, when you're only doing like first, second, third place, you can get a cheap meter. You don't need like a tone lab or anything like that, But you'll have people like prepping, and you'll hear in the parking lot, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
it'll be like the event I was at Crossfire where you have like, cars that can play, a 60 hertz test tone, but can't play music or anything like that, I agree though. I would love that, that's, but like audio has just changed so much. Like you can do now with 1000 watts, what used to take you 3000 watts.
Yeah.
That's why I did with 1400 watts and 2/8, what used to take 1500 watts and 2/12s. And like, if you look at cone size, like volume, 2/8 is a lot smaller than a single 12 or even 2/12s. It's insane. Yeah, like even square,
Well, I remember when people used to do SPL.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm dating myself. The MTX Terminator 15.
Yeah.
That moved a lot of air back in the day, but you needed a giant like Alpine V12 amp to run it. Now, I mean,
they were rebuildable too, if I remember right.
Yep.
Oh, yes,
you could build them at the show.
Yeah. If you blew it up, just pull the components out, pull the guts out of it, slap a new one in, bolt it in, you're good to go.
The new beast for, and I'm really big into the new Kicker stuff.
Okay.
The new Kicker Solo X that they came out with. And that sub used to always be good for competitions and stuff like that. But a lot of the new Kicker stuff is really impressive. And the new Solo X they came out with, it's equally as impressive, and they get loud while sounding good. And they're the same thing. You know, you have two of them, and you know you're at the competition, whatever, and you blow one of them up. You bring a second, you know, cone assembly or a second, you know, whatever components blow up and stuff like that. You take it out of the box, if you even have to take it out of the box, I don't know. And you know, you drop whatever components in, boom, you're up and running in a few minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
See, once I went Orion, I never looked at anything else. I had JLW zeros. My little Eclipse XA1000 blew the voice coils right out of them. And I went up to Hard Electronics back in the day and I said, what do you have? And Jay showed me those Orion XTRs. I still have one to this day. And I'm still running that XA1000.
Like I was saying, there's a lot of that stuff is worth a lot of money. Like you go on some of these vintage car audio websites, some of those like old
the old Zapcos,
old like amps, old head units and stuff like that, like the old Pioneer Premier stuff from like the mid 2000s. Some of that stuff is worth a lot of money. Like, and you mentioned Eclipse, some of that stuff, and like the one sub I have, I got it from a friend a couple of years ago. All it needed was a recone. It was an Eclipse SW9210.
The aluminum cone.
The aluminum cone, but it was the one that had the massive basket. It was like this. It weighs like 70 pounds. And my friend like gave it to me. He's like, you can have it because I'm sick of looking at it. I'm like, okay. So I'm walking through my basement one night and I'm carrying it by the magnet, right? Oh, that was really smart, right? So I dropped it and it broke the basket. But I just can't throw it away. So it's just like, I have it on my shelf, just like
giant paperweight.
It's just a giant paperweight, you know? And the thing is though, is like, again, that kind of goes back to what we were saying about the Solo X. Like you can repair them. Like if I wanted to, I could take that sub and like mail it to someone and they could take the basket and they could put a new one on it and they could put a new cone on it for a few $100. And then that would, make it brand new. And I forget what company used to build Eclipse subs, because there was one company that built the subs for Eclipse and they had their own label that they did too. It's almost like a private label, like a lot of the detailing companies do. I forget, but it's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll kick that around for a rainy day or something like that.
Tell them about your turbo beetle that you're building.
Oh,
We call it barn bug.
Barn bug.
It literally housed chickens and a pig. That's why there's no interior in it presently.
It was nasty.
It was bad.
They used it to keep chickens and pigs.
Yes. And it was one of a 500 made color concept turbo beetles.
Okay. So it's got a rare factor to it.
Yeah.
And it also has the fact that somebody blew up the original AWW a long time ago and put a Mark 6 GTI 1.8 and 6-speed in it.
Okay.
And it's got a KO4.
That's a nice combo.
It's going to be a 300 and some horsepower little beetle.
It likes to make turbo noises.
Yeah.
There's no more pigs and chickens living in it.
No,
Right?
I stripped that
Okay,
interior
good.
out with my plethora of parts that I have upstairs. So
No, it's like Tinker Toys.
Oh, yeah,
Just
but
pull stuff
it's
in.
got the flutter and somebody put the bro-off valve in it and all that.
The bro.
wait,
The bro-off valve.
I've never heard that one before. I'm gonna put that in the.
Yeah, that's a different.
That's going in the dictionary.
I like that. That's
Like
good.
when we were at Driven and we were all sitting there in a circle afterwards and Jeff was talking about, remember, this looks like a field of $200 coilovers or something like that. That was one I'll never forget.
Yeah. No.
You also have the bus.
I have the
Yeah.
bus that came out of the Volkswagen graveyard in Mountaintop.
Yeah, I remember that when you guys got that. Yeah.
Yeah. I always wanted to visit that place, and I saw an ad on Marketplace.
That was right when they were closing everything up, right?
Yeah.
They
the-
were crushing everything.
The guy who originally started collecting all the Volkswagens passed away. Someone bought the estate and was selling everything off. And
That place was like a staple in this area for a long
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
It's
like-
a sore spot for me too because I almost got a 1986 Quattro GT out of there
Ooh.
with the red leather and the digital dash.
All interior not rotted?
It had a dent in the front fender. The replacement fender was in the hatch,
Oh, jeez.
and I missed it.
That would have been a score. Oh. And then some. No. Oh, well.
I wish I could have just bought the property.
You have to see the interior of this bus. It had some kind of custom J.C. Whitney from the 70s interior put in it. It is
There's a throwback.
J.C. Whitney.
Yeah.
It is thick orange shag,
Oh, Lord.
front to back, and the seats are this flower print velvet.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that for a bus, definitely.
So it's going to stay that way.
All right. Keep
That's,
it
the,
original.
that's the
yeah.
only way I was going to allow it to get home. I looked at, or come home. I looked at the interior of this thing and I'm like, this is fantastic.
And that was the only bus there that didn't have everything stacked inside of it. Like
Okay.
extra parts, because every single vehicle there just had parts.
Just load it up.
Yeah, just
I remember, did you send me them? Somebody, one of the two of you sent me a message like, hey, they're, junking everything and crushing everything. If there's anything you want in there, you better get in there now. And I was like, oh man, do I want to do the Beetle hot rod project or, do I want to get into that? I just didn't pull the trigger on anything. I wanted to get down there though, at least check it out, but oh well.
And then don't forget to tell the world about the coolest car that you have. Well, at least in my mind.
my technically first car, but I never drove it
The
as my
Burt
first
Reynolds?
car. Yes. My 81 turbo Trans Am.
Yeah.
All original that was pulled out of a field.
Still has the 301 turbo, T-top car, nocturne blue, blue interior. Every option you could get on a Trans Am, it has, including the amplified Delco 8-track player. It has a button on the dash. If you wanted more power, you flip the switch up and it sent like 10 more watts to the 6x9s in the back.
Nice.
One of the favorite stories I have about that car, though, was, well, we brought the car up my house and my dad said not to drive it anywhere, even though it has antique tags and stuff. Well,
It's a little rough.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I've seen it, so I know.
well,
I like the Burt Reynolds car, yeah.
we took
was
it up to the Coal Crackers. Were having a trunk or treat at Anthracite Hotel.
The theme was eastbound and broke down. So to
okay.
hide how ugly the paint, the faded paint and everything was, we covered the car with like fake spider webs
Okay.
and dressed up a skeleton like Burt Reynolds.
Reynolds. That's where I got the name for it, the Burt Reynolds car, yeah.
Well, WNEP happened to show up, and guess what their focus was? Right on TV, front and center.
There was the Cadillac with Oogie Boogie and Jack Skellington, and the Trans Am with the skeleton wearing a cowboy hat and a red button-up shirt sitting right next to it, holding the sign that said eastbound and broke down. They set the cameras up right in front of the cars.
I'm sure your dad loved that one.
Oh, he was
No.
not pleased.
I got the call. I told you not to take that car out. I'm like,
Oops.
what are you talking about? And here it's on the news.
Yeah, you can't dodge that one.
Nope.
A follow-up to that story was we're on the way home, and I'm following her with a Cadillac, and that car needs a new floorboard in the back seat.
Yeah, I do remember that.
She had the container of candy on the back seat, and she hit the brakes, and the candy flipped over. And as I'm driving behind her, I hear off the Cadillac, I hear ting, 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 and I'm like, what the hell? The Milk Duds and Nerds spilled out, and we're falling through the floor, bouncing off the road and hitting the front bumper of the caddy.
So that kind of like brings up like I know you've got the Cadillac. That was kind of, you've mentioned it a couple of times. What else do you have in your stable there?
Well, I have the 1962 Cadillac Sedan DeVille 6-window with a very massaged 454 LS5 from 1970 Chevelle in it. Turbo 400 transmission built to handle 800 horsepower. And then I have a 1992 Mitsubishi 3000 GT SL.
I love that car.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in like 5th grade or so, and you could probably relate to this more than me, because grade school for you guys was during the Vietnam era. So
That was
but
low.
remember like the book fair and stuff like that.
I do.
And they'd roll in like the big metal cabinets full of bucks, and like your mom would give you like, I don't know, 10 or 20 bucks, whatever, and you go. I used to get the coloring books with the different cars. I remember I get them and I had no idea what the cars were, and my dad pointed out, he's like, yo, that's it was a Stealth, so same exact car,
Yeah.
right? And ever since then, I've just loved those cars. And isn't there another one around here? I don't know if it's a Stealth or a 3000 GT. I used to see it up at the mall recently, like 2024 when I was living here. I just remember it being very, very clean. I think it was.
That is a 1991 Stealth RT twin turbo.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
And they have that car. They bring that car up Viewmont every once in a while. They're the original owners of that car, and that car has like less than 40,000 miles. They still have the brochure, the owner's manual, the window sticker. That car was over $33,000 in 1991.
That's
Oh,
a bring
yeah.
a trailer car. That's a bring a trailer car right there.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Mine was a barn find, and I basically just saved it from the part out boys because everybody, see, my car's not a VR4.
That doesn't matter. VR4 is just more trouble and more hassle, trust me.
In their scene, everybody wants the VR4 because of the twin turbo, and because the parts are getting so hard to get, they're buying SLs because really the only difference between an SL and a VR4 is the drivetrain.
Yeah, and the turbo. So you got the all-wheel drive, the
Yeah, you don't have the all-wheel drive with the SL, but I still have
active aero.
No, but I do have the active exhaust and the electronic suspension.
Yeah.
But that car just happened to come up on Marketplace, and I wanted one. I wanted a 1G. I had a 3G and also a 2G 3000 GT. They were a dream car of mine when I was a teenager. And that came up on Marketplace. It was sitting in a garage since 2011. The computer in it went. The lady that owned it said, I've had enough of it. She parked it in the back of the garage and bought an Acura. Well, their house burned down, and they ended up moving to, it was Texas, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Said to their mechanic, hey, listen, we still have some cars in the garage. Would you mind selling them for us? The 3000 GT was one of them. There was also an E39 M5 in there.
I'm glad you went the route of the 3000 GT.
It was more affordable. However, I was in the doghouse.
Anything with BMW is definitely not affordable anymore.
Well, this is where it ties into the Volkswagen graveyard.
Yeah.
They were having an auction for engines, transmissions in the one building there. And Chelsea's father and I were supposed to go to that. And I said, hey, Mountaintop and Chickashinny, they're kind of close. Let's go take a look at this 3000 GT. It's sitting out there. Guy's like, it doesn't run. I don't care enough to get it running. He brought out a battery. The motor cranked. But when I turned the key on, I'm looking at all the idiot lights. The check engine light never came on.
Okay.
I looked at her dad and I said, it's the ECU.
It never does a self-check or anything.
It never did the self-check. I said, I guarantee you, if I get an ECU for this, it'll fire right up. Talked the guy down to $1,300.
Wow.
Oh, wow, yeah.
99,000 original miles. Had the inspection sticker to verify it. One owner car, Ascot Silver. They only made 238 in that color. Cool. Got the car. Didn't make it to the auction in time. Got in trouble. Brought home a car that smelled like mouse that didn't run.
So like the Buick, except the Buick ran.
Right. Found an ECU on Marketplace, plugged it in, sprayed it with some starting fluid, turned the key, shot her with mouse nest right out the tailpipes, and then it ran.
Nice.
And I spent the last 2 years trying to make it the nicest example of a 3000 GT I could.
So tell them about what else that car did to me.
Okay, so when I got it running, cleaned it up good enough, I was going to take it to the Tracy's Hope and just show it off as a barn find.
Oh,
That
I
was the
remember
show
this.
that I started at McDade Park with like only 5 cars showing up. And
Yeah, that
Loaded-
grew pretty big over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loaded up all the banners from the sponsors, all the trophies. And of course, it was not registered or inspected. Decided to go the back way to McDade through Justice. That way, 2 in the morning.
Love that. I love that.
No.
I live up that way, so I live right there, so I love it up that way.
So I'm following Chelsea. Car's running great. Oh man, I'm having fun. Start coming up, make the turn on to Justice Boulevard, you know, where the self-service or the self-storage is, where Lewis Brothers Garage used to be.
Yeah.
Cars accelerate, and I'm like, I'm having fun, and all of a sudden it just goes, wah, right up to like 8,000 RPMs, and I'm like, what the hell? 4 neutrals. Transmission just like
See
that.
ya.
Gone.
Transmission has left the chat.
It left the chat. We pushed it down to Powell's
with my ladybug.
with her ladybug.
Yeah,
And-
I remember that night. Yeah.
Had to go back, get the Silverado in the tow strap. Had the motor running. Chelsea steered it and used the brakes. Got it back to the house. Moved everything over into the Cadillac. We got no sleep that night. None.
Yeah.
She started to hate the car even more. Had a friend who was parting out at 95. Bought the transmission off him. Put the transmission in it. Took our son up and down the road. Car drove great.
We were getting it ready for Driven to Duty, the first one.
The first Driven to Duty at the Veterans Center. Drove it up and down the road, tested it, ran fine. Chelsea got in it, got up to a dollar store in German. It didn't want to move anymore. So that was transmission number 2. Found another transmission number 3.
I think weaker men would have called it quits at this point.
No, I was determined at that point. It was either I was going to get an automatic that worked or it was getting a 5-speed conversion.
And he says, I hate the car, but I was out there helping him put the 3 transmissions in.
Go out to this guy who had a part out and he had the transmission sitting in the snow. And we're like, no, that's not going to happen. And then out of luck, she finds one out by Niagara Falls.
You like road trips, I see.
Well, no, because I got mad because this guy like hyped up this transmission like it was great.
Yeah.
Like there was literally
There was
ice in it.
icicles shooting out of the engine block when they were trying to turn it over to unbolt the transmission.
That's never a good sign.
No. So anyway, she finds this guy out by Niagara Falls who was a 3000 GT collector. He had 2 VR4s, a VR4 Spider, which is ultra rare.
Oh, yeah.
And then he had an SL Spider that he converted over to a 5-speed. After having the transmission completely rebuilt by Import Performance Transmissions.
Okay.
For $400, I got the FA433 transmission, the transmission controller, the shifter, the brake pedal, everything take out from that Spider. And that's the transmission that's in it now.
And so far, so good.
I found out the other day, out of frustration, it has a shift kit.
I remember you and I were having that conversation.
Yeah, it went a little buggy, and all of a sudden I got mad. I put it down to low and hammered it, and all of a sudden when I shifted it, it shifted instantly. It chirped the front tires, and I'm like, that's not normal.
I had a shift kit in my 2004 Grand Prix, right? A shift kit and a cooler intake, and all you would see is a grandma car. Or actually, all you would hear is a grandma car. You would just hear like, and then it would shift and it would be like,
Quick side note on
shift kits.
Quick side note on that 3000. It's a very early production 92, which doesn't mean shit in the world of cars, but it's cool to me. It's the 33rd that rolled off the production line.
Are you sure it's not a Corvette the way you're talking about it? Like one of one made by a guy named Steve?
It could be.
We talked about that on the other podcast the other night too.
Yeah, that's one of our... Yeah.
That's an inside Pharaohs joke that we have because
It's rare.
It's rare.
It's rare.
It's always rare.
It's always rare.
Well, my SS
Like
is
my
the first.
steaks.
Mine is the first jungle green. The first VIN of the jungle green.
Do you still have that?
Yes.
Oh.
For now.
Because I was going to say, I haven't seen it in a long time.
Well, it's down there, so
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
both my things are down there. So.
And you're still rocking the BRZ, right?
It's been in the body shop because of a hailstorm. So
I remember you showing me pictures of that, and I felt terrible.
yeah, it's at my buddy's body shop, and we managed to just because it needed a new hood and a new trunk, and as Joe refers to it, the Jeff math kicked in, and instead of buying a new hood and a new trunk.
Carbon fiber.
Yep. Carbon fiber hood, carbon fiber trunk. And, I had some supplementals and stuff like that come in and everything. And, we ordered it and I had it shipped from Houston and, getting it cleared and stuff like that. And like I said, it's a very close friend's body shop. And I told him, since you hooked me up, take all the time you need. And he told me the other day that by the time I get back there in a couple of weeks, it should be ready to go. And he has the SS too. So he has both my cars, actually. He texted me before. He's like, do you mind if I take it down the road to get a haircut? And I'm like, bro, he's doing a headliner. That's why he has it. Because, every single problem that could happen with that platform has happened with that car. So the headliner's sagging, quality GM product. And
Sure this isn't Volkswagen we're talking about?
he's doing a new a headliner for me. But yeah, I still have both of them. I'm looking forward to getting the BRZ back because that car is actually so much more fun to drive than the SS.
Didn't we have that discussion at my house not that long ago about Volkswagens?
What, don't buy a Volkswagen?
No,
Yeah.
it was Mercedes luxury, BMW performance, General Motors build quality.
Yeah, that's true.
I had a 2000. This was before I knew the core guys. I had a 2000. I think it was a 2009 Volkswagen CC. I
like the look of those.
I loved that car. I randomly saw one day. I back in the day, like even up until a couple years ago, I'd go through cars rather frequently. I had a 2011 Scion TC when they came out with the refresh, and then I got rid of that for a 2009 CC, silver, the TSI motor. Really good car. Actually, like a really nice car. It was in really good shape. I got it at Motor World, 1 owner car, 10,000 miles. I slammed it. I put really, really junk coilovers on it. That's where I learned that you don't do that. I put TSW wheels on it. It looked fantastic. Like it looked hot, but it drove like a dump truck, right?
That's the cheap coilovers.
Yeah, it drove like a dump truck.
I could definitely tell you firsthand because, I mean, honestly, when I started out building Hondas, it was, we didn't really have coilovers per se. We had like the coil sleeves and the cheap sets and everything else. And you would buy a cheap set. You was like, oh, I just want to get this thing low, make it look good. And then you were literally bouncing down the road because the spring rates were way too stiff. You know, they just weren't a good match. Usually they were just like cheap quality. Something would break. It was a mess. And then when I built the Mini, that was the one thing I was like, I don't want to cheap out on this. So I got like really, really good like KW V3s, like the Variant 3 sets, like the highest end that I could for that car at the time. It's a night and day difference.
Oh, yeah.
Actually putting good suspension on a car, like good quality.
And like we talked about this again the other night when we were on the other podcast. Like that's like one of the most important parts of a car.
Yeah.
Like the suspension parts, and then like the other part that is braking and tires.
Yeah.
Tires.
Yeah.
Tires.
Like, and I was talking to another friend about this.
Those.
You make all this power, and you have like, I don't know, $100 tires. It's like, or like you make all this power and you have, factory brakes. And a lot of times, that might be okay to some extent, but it's just like, what's the point of having like 500-600 horsepower car if you're going to have stock
you're not going to be able
brakes?
to stop.
Yeah.
God, going back to the Best Buy days, that was one of my selling points. I was a home theater product specialist, and somebody would come out and they'd buy like the Onkyo with all this like the top of the line 6.1 THX certified. Then they'd go and they'd buy like KLH speakers, and like my selling point would be like, hey, would you buy a Porsche 911? He goes, absolutely. I said, would you put bald used tires from a used tire place on it? He'd be like, no, man,
we used
never.
to pull that stuff all the time with selling computers.
Yeah. And I said, well, that's what you're doing right now, buddy. Step up to the klipsch.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. No.
So as far as, kind of speaking personally and as, the club members, what are your goals for 2026?
Our goals are going to be just to have fun.
Like that.
We're going to have fun.
Like that. Yeah.
We're going to do everything we did last year. We're just going to do it a little bit better. I mean, there's no sense in having any stress over it. It's not a job. It's a hobby. I can attest to that one firsthand, because that was one of the reasons why I stepped out of the Pharaohs for a little while. Was it literally became a job, and when it becomes a job, it's not fun anymore. So,
it's tough. Doing this stuff the right way is hard. It really is.
It really is.
You got to be dedicated. It's work, but I like that. I like that answer. Have fun.
Well, one of the big things, Jeff, is that we run things very democratically.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a board, we have leaders and stuff like that. But the whole point is, like, say you come to me with an idea. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how Roadsters and Runways came to fruition. That was Gary.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, I want to do this cause for Wallen Papak School for their aviation program. Do you think we could do something? It's like, hey, you come up with an idea, you bring it to us, we make it happen. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Meet on the Mountain. When Joe wanted to do that, he reached out to us. He's like, yo, you want in on it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
What can we do for you? And the same thing with Driven. But
absolutely,
if you're in the area, you should check out that Paws and Propellers and the Roadsters and Runways, because what we do is they do touchdowns with small aircraft on the airstrip, mm-hmm. and we park all the cars in line. So like you could put your car and take pictures and videos of planes doing touchdowns behind it. Oh, it's wicked.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. I saw some of the pictures that Sam took from last year, and I was like, I really wish I could have gone to that. I should have gone to that. Why didn't I go to that?
So like as equally as kind of going against what you said about stress. This is probably way more stressful than planning stuff. What about like actual car stuff, like working on your cars, mods and stuff like that? Any plans for that?
Well, the list is long.
It's always long.
It never
Never
ends.
ending.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Right now, the Cadillac is in pieces because I'm rewiring part of it because, like I said, I come from dirt racing. It's simple. Get it running, get it on the track. Who cares what the wires look like? Use wire nuts, get out there and qualify. Well, that bled over into my collector cars, so now I'm fixing everything and making it look nice, and I'm also fitting headers onto it and a new exhaust system. And you would never believe it, but they do not make headers for a 62 Cadillac with a big black Chevy or an exhaust system. So it's all custom.
Yeah.
And then with the 3000,
Fabrication.
my idea with that, like I said, I want to make it the nicest example possible, but I'm doing it in period correct mods. I believe they call it OEM Plus now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the Eclipse CD player in it, the Eclipse sound system, the Orion sub, and then I have an old NOS, and I'm very proud of them, Montegi M109 18x8s from back in the day.
They're actually really nice. They're mint wheels.
And they are on the car now. I just want to make it look like it would have looked back in the day if I had the money to build it back then.
Fair enough.
How about yours?
Bus needs an engine that he never got at the graveyard that day.
That's why you're in the doghouse.
We have another engine.
Yeah, we
there
ended
you
up going out to, what was it, the Bronx or Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn, New York. Somebody's doing an EV conversion on their bus and took out the engine. Bought that on Marketplace.
I'm sorry. It sucks to be them.
Yeah.
Brought it home in the Atlas when it was brand new.
It fits.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, the engine fit in the back of an Atlas. The hearse, just gonna pretty much run it.
All right. Don't throw the kids in the back.
No, don't throw the kids in the back unless you have a seat bolted down with seat belts, is what the cop said.
Okay.
Have you seen it since we put the 18s on it?
Yes. Actually, yeah.
Looks
It
good
looks
like
good
that.
like that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Ladybug, just prettying her up. So,
Fair enough.
Which reminds me, I need to borrow that stud spot welder you have.
Yeah. I got a bunch of tools for you. Don't worry.
Okay.
the Trans Am, that's going to be a project. That's probably not going to get done for another.
That's long-term retirement project. That's
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the list goes on, but
That's fair.
just pretty much enjoy everything this year.
Sounds good.
And we are going to continue to work with the street scene wherever you need us. Meet on the mountain.
Sam, we'll work with you guys too.
I'll tell you
Absolutely.
what, we had a lot of fun doing that last year. I mean,
Other than what was that, like worse than Arizona heat? A couple of those times.
That's like the one
insane.
event that like every single time I was in, as much as I would come in last year, I was never able to match up my schedule
Yeah.
because like I usually would come in from Saturday and catch the Tuesday night out.
Oh, yeah.
So it just
that's
would
true.
never like just because of the way flight prices work, I would never be able to match it up. So hopefully I can get to at least one of them in the summertime.
I think my cover photo is still the one that you took with the 3000 under Sonic.
Okay,
Under
yeah.
the lights there next to the S4.
Yeah.
And I'll tell
Sonic's going to be a good time too.
Yes.
Oh,
can't
I
wait
look
for
forward
those.
to
Those
it.
are awesome. Yeah, definitely look forward to having you guys down there for that too.
I'll tell you what, one of the proudest moments was when we took the group picture at Driven to Duty and you saw how diverse the Pharaohs became. If you think about it, we have every generation from the boomers all the way down to,
Yeah.
I guess, Z's.
Yeah.
We have a T bucket. We have a Normagene, that 47
Yeah.
Cadillac.
Beautiful Cadillac.
We have somebody with a 78 Cougar 4-door beige with an 8-track player. The car's fantastic. Right down to a C8 and an Aston Martin.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was doing the pre-registration because obviously I took care of that, and as I'm gonna have that completely different this year. But like as I saw the emails come in saying like, okay, someone registered, with this club, I was typing them in, and I'm like, oh, Pharaohs. So many different things from across the board, like different things, you know, like just all over the place.
But you see, that was one of the visions, because if you think about it, the ones that taught us are in their 70s and 80s now.
Yeah.
Our generation is in their position now. And then you have Jeff and the younger ones coming up.
Yeah.
We should all be together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it shows an evolution of sorts.
Yeah, that's true.
To me, like, I'm a nerd. Things like that are cool.
I think it's cool.
Yeah. Like having a 29 T-Bucket parked next to an Aston Martin Vantage with an Audi S4 and a Volkswagen Beetle and a Cadillac and a Mitsubishi. Like, it's just representing everybody as a whole. It's representing everybody as a whole.
Yeah.
I think that's a
plays
huge
into it.
flex. I really do.
Yeah.
The people.
Yeah, because not many clubs can actually say that either. You know, the amount of diversity, at least in that.
And it's nice to see variety.
Yeah.
I mean, like, really, you go to a lot of these shows, like in bigger towns. We'll say when we're down in Cruise Week, I think I've seen every iteration of a 69 Camaro and a 67 GTO that you could possibly think
Well,
of.
that
Same
was-
with Corvette
yeah.
for me.
Right.
It was literally every dream car from, you know, people that grew up with them. They went, oh, that's my dream car. I want that. And every single one has the same one. So,
But I still
yeah.
have a hard time wrapping my head around some things, like some of the, I don't want to say kids.
Yeah.
Like, they look at like Radwood cars and they're like, holy crap, that's a 1989 Chevy Beretta. And it's like, yeah, it is.
Okay, don't start. Don't get me started. I like that stuff. Come on.
I like them too, but still.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So I think that's really it. We talked
Yeah.
about a lot. It was great having you guys on. And again, shout out to Matt Bernie Honda for sponsoring this episode. Like I said, if you're in the market for even a new SI, if you want to get your oil changed in your S2000 CR, make sure you check them out. They're right down by Scranton Prep in Scranton on Wyoming Avenue. Huge shouts to them. And props to them for sponsoring Driven to Duty in 2025. We really appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate that.
So that's it. And we look forward to seeing you guys next episode.